Fact 20. The forest with no bedrock and no bottom. Everyone pictures New Jersey as concrete and highways. More than 1 million acres of it are wilderness. The Pine Barrens cover roughly a fifth of the entire state, a vast forest of sandy soil so poor that colonial farmers gave up and called it barren. Nothing they wanted to grow would take. What they never realized was that the ground they dismissed as worthless was sitting on top of the most valuable thing in the region. The most crowded state in America hides its largest secret in plain sight, a wilderness bigger than some national parks. Fact 19. The 17-trillion-gallon ocean underground. Here's what's under that forest. The Kirkwood-Cohansey Aquifer holds an estimated 17 trillion gallons of exceptionally pure water, trapped in the sand beneath the Pine Barrens, and it is enough water to cover the whole state of New Jersey in a lake 10 feet deep. The sandy soil that ruined farming turned out to be a perfect natural filter, cleaning rainwater as it sinks. Back in the 1800s, when a Philadelphia industrialist schemed to pipe it out of state, the outcry was so fierce that New Jersey banned exporting its water. One of the purest water supplies in America is hidden under the trees, and most people drive right over it. Fact 18. The plants that eat meat. The Pine Barrens hide something that sounds tropical. Because that sandy soil is so starved of nutrients, several native plants evolved to catch and eat animals instead, including pitcher plants that drown insects in pools of liquid and sundews that glue them to sticky leaves and slowly digest them. There are even underwater bladderworts that snap shut on tiny prey in about 2 milliseconds, one of the fastest movements in the entire plant kingdom. Meat-eating plants are living wild in New Jersey. The Garden State grows predators most people never learn about. Fact 17. The dwarf forest where trees stop growing. In one corner of the pinelands sits a stretch called the Pygmy Pines, where full-grown pine trees top out around waist-to-head height, a mature forest you can see over the top of. The trees stay small because they've adapted to survive frequent wildfires, and some of their pine cones only crack open and release seeds when a fire's heat forces them. Fire doesn't destroy this forest. Fire is the only reason it exists. An ancient miniature woodland thrives in New Jersey by depending on the very thing that should kill it. Fact 16. The monster born in these woods. All that dark, trackless forest gave America one of its oldest legends. For roughly 300 years, people in the Pine Barrens have told of the Jersey Devil, a winged creature said to haunt the deep woods, a story passed down since colonial times. The tale is woven so tightly into the region that an entire professional hockey team took its name. Whatever people believe about it, the legend has survived 3 centuries in the same stretch of trees. The emptiest place in the crowded Northeast grew its own monster, and it never left. Fact 15. The sand that built a glass empire. That Pine Barren sand hid a fortune. The quartz sand of South Jersey is so pure and fine that it fueled a massive glass-making industry. And for generations, Jersey towns turned that sand into bottles, windows, and glassware shipped across the country. Whole communities existed only because of what the ground was made of. The same worthless soil that wouldn't grow crops was quietly perfect for something the colonists never expected. New Jersey turned its barren sand into one of the great glass centers of America. Fact 14. The cliffs that are a scar from a broken planet. Along the Hudson River stands a wall of rock most drivers never think twice about. The Palisades are a sheer diabase cliff up to around 500 feet tall, and they formed about 200 million years ago when the supercontinent Pangaea began ripping apart and molten rock forced its way up between layers of sediment. The soft rock around it eroded away, leaving the hardened magma standing as a rampart along the river. Every commuter on the Palisades Parkway drives along a scar from the day a supercontinent tore in half. Fact 13. The town where the rocks glow. In Sussex County sits a place that looks ordinary by day and turns alien at night. Franklin, New Jersey calls itself the fluorescent mineral capital of the world because the rocks pulled from its old zinc mines blaze in vivid reds and greens the instant ultraviolet light hits them. More than 350 different minerals have been found in the Franklin and Sterling Hill area, making it one of the most mineral-rich spots on the entire planet, with dozens of species found nowhere else first. Plain gray stone from this one town lights up like neon. Nowhere else on Earth glows quite like it. Fact 12. The billion-year-old ground under the glow. The reason those rocks exist is almost impossible to picture. The ore body at Franklin and Sterling Hill formed roughly 1 billion years ago, when ancient limestone was buried deep in the earth and cooked by mineral-rich fluids under crushing heat and pressure. What came out was a chemical recipe so unusual it produced minerals that formed nowhere else in the world. People walk through those old mine tunnels today surrounded by billion-year-old stone. The strangest rock collection on the planet has been sitting quietly under northern New Jersey the whole time. Fact 11. The inventor's secret laboratory town. New Jersey hid the birthplace of the modern world. In Menlo Park, Thomas Edison built the first real research laboratory of its kind, and it was there that his team developed the practical light bulb and worked on the phonograph and countless other inventions. Edison also ran mining operations in the state, testing his ore processing machinery in the New Jersey hills. So much invention poured out of that lab that people started calling him the Wizard of Menlo Park. The technology that lit up the world was switched on first in a small New Jersey town. Fact 10. The 8-mile wall of standing water. Along the shore, New Jersey is quietly fighting the ocean and losing ground. Towns like Seabright sit behind massive seawalls built up over decades, holding back an Atlantic that keeps trying to take the land back. Nor'easters arriving on full moon high tides push water hard against those defenses, and lifelong residents describe a shoreline that has visibly changed within their own lifetimes. The famous Jersey Shore is not as permanent as the postcards suggest. Parts of it are living on borrowed time behind a wall. Fact 9. The meadow that's actually a buried world. Just outside New York City lies a place hiding centuries of secrets in the mud. The Meadowlands are a vast tidal marsh that was once dismissed as a wasteland, used for dumping and rumored for generations to hide things people wanted to disappear. Beneath the reeds sits deep, soft ground and buried history, including, by some accounts, construction debris from old New York City landmarks. What looks like empty swamp beside the highway is one of the most storied patches of ground in the region. The Meadowlands keep whatever gets pushed into them. Fact 8. The mountains hiding in plain sight. People swear New Jersey is flat. The northwest corner proves them wrong. The Watchung Mountains are long, parallel ridges formed from ancient lava flows that hardened and resisted erosion while the softer rock around them wore away. During the Revolution, George Washington used these very ridges as a natural fortress, camping behind them to watch British movements across the plains below. Hikers today walk over the same hardened lava. New Jersey has real mountains built from volcanic rock, and most of the country has no idea. Fact 7. The oldest life once sat near the equator. The ground under New Jersey has traveled the world. Hundreds of millions of years ago, this land sat in a completely different climate as the continents drifted into their modern positions, and the rock records a history stretching back through vanished seas and colliding landmasses. The state that feels so modern is built on some of the oldest and most rearranged geology on the East Coast. Every mile of New Jersey is a page from a book hundreds of millions of years long. The turnpike runs over deep time. Fact 6. The horse country nobody expects. New Jersey hides a rural side that stuns outsiders. Despite being the most densely populated state in the country, it holds a serious horse farming tradition. With rolling countryside and more horses per square mile than people expect, in some counts rivaling far larger rural states. The state animal is even the horse. Between the cities and the shore sits open pasture and quiet farmland most travelers never see. The most crowded state in America is also, in places, wide open country. Fact 5. The tunnels beneath the cities. Underneath New Jersey's old industrial towns runs a hidden network. Abandoned mine shafts, forgotten rail tunnels, and old iron and zinc workings thread beneath the surface across the northern part of the state. Remnants of an industrial past that once made New Jersey a manufacturing powerhouse. Some passages are mapped. Others were sealed and half forgotten as the industries died. Beneath the strip malls and neighborhoods sits a buried skeleton of tunnels and shafts. The modern surface hides an underground world carved by miners a century ago. Fact 4. The first in the nation, hiding everywhere. New Jersey quietly holds a stack of American firsts almost nobody credits to it. The first organized baseball game under modern rules took place in Hoboken. It was designated the nation's first national reserve when the Pinelands earned that title in 1978. The first drive-in movie theater opened here, and the state hosted some of the earliest moments of American industry and invention. The place people treat as a punchline was actually first at a startling number of things. New Jersey keeps inventing America and getting none of the credit. Fact 3. The fault line under the crowd. Now the part that should unsettle you. Running through northern New Jersey is the Ramapo Fault, an ancient fracture in the crust that traces the edge of the highlands, and it sits beneath one of the most densely populated regions on the continent. Small earthquakes happen along this zone, most too faint to notice, and scientists have long studied whether it could produce something larger. Because the solid bedrock of the region carries shaking efficiently, even a moderate quake would be felt across a huge area. Millions of people live, work, and sleep on top of a fault most have never heard named. Fact 2. The ground that already moved. This is not just theory. In 2024, a magnitude 4.8 earthquake struck near Tewksbury in northern New Jersey, one of the strongest in the state's recorded history, and it rattled buildings across the entire New York metropolitan area, felt by tens of millions of people from Philadelphia to Boston. Nobody was expecting the ground under the Northeast to shake. And then it did. The quake was a reminder that the fault everyone ignores is very much awake. The most crowded corner of America got a warning shot, and most people forgot it within a week. Fact 1. The buried water that holds it all together. Here's the strangest truth of all, the thing that ties this whole state together. Everything New Jersey hides, the meat-eating plants, the dwarf forest, the glass-making fortune, the monster legend, all of it grows out of one overlooked feature, that vast buried reservoir of ancient, pure water under the pines. 17 trillion gallons sitting in sand, feeding a wilderness in the middle of the most crowded state in the nation, so valuable that people fought to keep it from leaving. New Jersey isn't the paved-over punchline everyone jokes about. It's a wild, ancient, mineral-glowing, fault-riddled place hiding an ocean under its forests. And now, you're one of the few people who actually knows it's there. So the next time somebody tells you New Jersey is just traffic and diners, you'll know the truth. This is a state hiding an underground ocean, rocks that glow in the dark, meat-eating plants, real volcanic mountains, and a fault line waiting under the most crowded ground in America, all of it sitting in plain sight. If any of this surprised you, stick around, because every state in this country is hiding something.